So this is awesome. We are up and running. The record light is blinking, so I've done it correctly. I've and it's so awesome to be here with Grace and Ramsey, and you guys are amazing, and we've had a lot of fun, kind of running around over the last few months. And I think the great thing is we originally met when you guys were relocating and you were in Texas, and we got connected because you were looking for a rental.
Oh my
And
gosh.
then and then we're like, hey, you're looking for rent? You should be looking for a place to buy. Uh, so tell us a little bit about how you came into our world.
Great, sure. So it's exactly like you said. We found a rental listing online that we thought was really pretty. And we reached out to you guys. And just through a series of conversations, we realized, we wanted to be in San Francisco long term. And so it just made more sense for us to buy instead of renting. And so your rental team connected us with you two, who are wonderful. And it was really nice. I think we were worried that, at the beginning, you guys were going to not well I guess you guys were gonna be like, buy no matter what, you should buy. But from the start we felt really heard. You guys sat down with us and we're like, what are your goals, what are your priorities, what do you need from us, and how can we help you? And so I think from like our first meeting we were like, oh, these guys are fantastic, like they actually have our backs. And so just through a series of conversations with you two, we decided to start poking around and seeing what was out there on the purchase market, and one thing led to another. And here we are.
Yeah, I think this might not be a great analogy, but the San Francisco housing market.
I come up with bad metaphors, so you get anything can beat some of my metaphors, Ramsey.
So I think the San Francisco housing market is kind of like walking into IKEA for the very first time. You just have no idea what you actually need, but everything looks like something that you could potentially want. And you really need a guide to sort of walk you through the store and say, no, this aisle is not for you. This aisle might be for you. This aisle we think is for you. And without you two, we would have been completely lost. We would have 1000% given up on trying to buy a home, and we would have been renting. But you guys were relentless. You were patient. You were very diligent over emails, which made our lives super easy. And we're in this house because of you guys.
And you also know everyone, and you know the market so well. I mean, I think at first we were like, maybe we could do this ourselves, and we quickly realized we needed a sensei, and we got lucky. We got two senseis, and I mean, you guys were incredible.
Wow, good.
That IKEA metaphor is spot
It's actually really good. I really like it. I've been using the golfing analogy, like a caddy, where you're at a golf course you don't know, and I'm not even a golfer, so it doesn't feel right. But I go to IKEA, so that one works for me.
Golf is better. That's a better fit.
Yeah, I don't know.
IKEA is relatable though for non-golfers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Haley, what questions or thoughts do you have to share?
First of all, your positivity really goes a long way, because it can be a really tiring process. So maintaining a positive attitude and just kind of like staying calm throughout the whole thing is hard to do, and you guys did it brilliantly. And I would say that also you were open to something a little different. We approached a property that wasn't, after we had seen a few and participated in bidding in a couple, we found one, or you found one, that was a little bit different. Like it was a unique situation, and other buyers and agents, I think, maybe kind of looked at it and then we're like, oh, there's other stuff available. Let's go look at other things, because it's
too scary. It's too complicated. It's too.
So the fact that you were open to something that needed a little bit more legwork, and that you got on board and did that also during escrow, and we had to involve an attorney and a surveyor, and you guys were just amazing. And I think that was key. Being open to something that's not necessarily just like within the box can get you, first of all, an amazing place that, you know, other people are not necessarily focused on, but also I think a great deal. Because, you know, again, your competition is focused elsewhere.
Yeah.
So.
Instant equity. And you guys were, I have to, one of the things I loved about working with you was how how graceful that you guys were when you did like there was one or two places at the very beginning where it was kind of stinging on kind of getting involved in what kind of real estate in San Francisco is like, and you didn't let it phase you at all. You took a lot of lessons from it. You learned super quickly, and you know, that really is, I think, where your success came from, is just how you were able to do that.
I think we didn't let it phase us because you guys didn't let it phase us.
Yeah.
That
You guys
was,
said we joked, y'all are like, yes, real estate agents, but also kind of like therapists and hype squad
Yeah.
and cheerleaders. It's great.
I think two things really stood out to me, and the list is very long, but these are the top two on mine. It was one, I felt like every time we asked you guys a question, be it over email or text, no matter what time of the day it was, we knew we were going to get a response in like a very timely manner. And that meant that we didn't have to sort of think through every rabbit hole before we asked you guys a question. We could just ask you a question and we were all on the same page all the time. And that was super helpful. And because we knew that you guys were responsive and thinking through the same things that we were thinking through, when it came to a house that kind of stung us, it was really easy for us to trust your advice, because we had seen you work with us over and over and over again since we were, you know, doing that first Zoom in Dallas. I think the second thing that really stood out to me, at least, was how holistic the whole process was. It wasn't just, let's go look at this house. There's 3 bedrooms, there's 1 bathroom. What do you think? It was, you know, like for this house, for example, Eddie, when you came to look at it, I had a question about, can we turn this laundry room into a bathroom, right? What's the deal with the downstairs? How complicated is that all going to be? And you had answers for it. And if you didn't have answers for it, you got the answers for it. So that sort of holistic approach enabled us to look at this house as a future home instead of just 4 walls, this many bedrooms, this many bathrooms. And that made making the investment a lot easier because we had help envisioning what it would look like, you know, 5 years down the road.
It's true.
So.
Wow. I want to work with these guys. Thank you. And you know, but in the scheme of things, where do you feel if there was somebody who was hesitant about kind of getting involved, they're coming in, they're like, oh, I'm just going to rent. What would you say to somebody who's coming into San Francisco? They're thinking, hey, I'll just rent for a little while. What would you give them any advice? Because it's quite amazing how quickly we were able to turn everything around, and now you're in your own place. You've got housing security in a city that's not easy to have housing security in,
Right.
and you're kind of set up for success here, which is awesome.
Yeah. You want to take that one?
Sure. So if they were friends of ours and they asked us for advice, I mean, seriously, the first thing that we would do is just give them your numbers and say, talk to these people. Because I think, going back to what I said earlier, you guys really have your client's best interest at heart. And so we would trust you to, if renting was a better option for someone, to tell them that. And, you know, again, to sort of sit down and figure out what their goals are, what their situation is, and come up with a plan that's going to be the best possible outcome for them. So I think, you know, if someone is sort of moving to San Francisco and doesn't know whether to rent or buy, step one would be to talk to you guys. And then you can sort of make a plan of action from there.
Yeah. And just as an antidote to that, you know, in our case, we reached out to you guys, I think in June, maybe even,
I think it was like March.
maybe even, April, May, whatever. And we had thought we wanted to figure out where we were going to live by August. So we were on kind of a tight timeline. And then that all got thrown into the air about June, July, something like that.
Yeah, we completely stopped the process because of
Yeah.
COVID, and so we weren't moving to.
And we just said, hey, we can't even think about this.
Yeah.
And you guys were very understanding. And then for the next 2 months, I thought it was great because I didn't feel any pressure from you guys to restart the process. I felt like if I had a question, I could reach out to you and you would give me an answer. But I didn't feel pressured from you, like, hey, we need to start looking. We need to start looking. You guys waited for us to come to you. And then when we were ready to start, it was like we were ready to go. So that was sort of evidence to us that you guys really did have our best interests at heart, because there was zero pressure to start when we weren't ready.
It's also fun to feel like you are sitting down and talking about these issues, not just with people who are really knowledgeable and really well connected and experienced, but also people that like you want to be friends with.
Oh,
I mean, the first time that we talked to you guys, we were like, wait, can we be friends with them? Can we hang out with them?
Haley told us about your St. Patty's Day parade, and now I just can't wait for that. That's all I want.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Clear the calendar.
It's so much fun. We're not supposed to, but we have a keg of cider on it and stuff. So it's pretty sweet. Hopefully it will not get, I don't know if this year it's not looking good, kind of, because it's always an early weekend. It's always the Saturday before St. Patrick's Day here, and so that's kind of early, and things are so. But you'll love it. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. But one of the things that you say, and I think it feels thank you. I kind of feel where for us a big thing that we try to do when we are working with people is have people trust the advice that they've been given, because over the years I've met so many people at dinner parties in different places, and they'll talk to me because they don't trust their agent on what they're being told, and they're asking me to verify stuff, and I'm like, that's not like when you have a team member, that team member needs to be, you're on the same team. So it's so important. So it's great that is all coming together.
Thank you for trusting us. Is basically.
Thank you for trusting it. That's what I thank you.
We want to hang out too.
Yeah, and the reason we trust you guys is because every piece of advice you gave us was spot on.
True.
And another example of that is every person that you've recommended to us for another service has been like the best experience we've ever had with that service ever.
Yeah.
And so it adds to the whole package, right? That you guys have researched every nook and cranny of this and know the best avenues through all of them.
They're good people who know all the good people.
Exactly.
So you want on your
Warms
team.
my heart.
Yeah.
Wow, you guys are awesome. So thank you. It is. It's now we get to hang out, and we don't have to worry about setting up showings and signing peds or doing any of that stuff that we've been doing for a while. And it all grows from here, and it's going to be fun and exciting as everything, and you guys grow into being part of San Francisco and our world here. So
we also can't wait to have you over to our home once we get like a couch. And
somewhere to sit.
Yeah.
So luckily the kitchen there.
Beautiful.
Well, we have an orchid now. Haley was so sweet. She brought over an orchid earlier when she came by.
Yeah.
I was like, good luck. I don't keep them alive, but
Honestly,
probably can.
You can kind of replace them, right? Like you get a couple blooms out of them, and then it's like, all right, I'm gonna get another orchid now. And you just kind of
It's just a stick, and you're like, okay, it might bloom next year.
Yeah. I'll keep watering the stick.
Yeah.
more.
Well, thank you
Awesome.
guys so much for your flattering words, and it really means the world to us. So thank you.
We mean
Thank
them.
you.
We feel really
Sure.
lucky that we found you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Well, enjoy the holidays in your new home.
Thank you.
Say hi to Ollie.
This is you. He
right
actually
here.
was lying by the door depressed for like half an hour after you left. So
Yeah.
you guys